我们不怕了，所有强权与欺压，我们不再接受你们那套在舆论监督下就是纸老虎。正义的天罗地网已经张开，第一个回应，等一个契机。记住，正义这一战绝不会缺席，恐惧是他们最后的武器。
Recently, a Chinese man posted a video urging the public to stop submitting to authority, openly challenging the Chinese Communist Party. He declared, "We are no longer afraid." The video quickly went viral. His identity remains unknown, though some speculate he may be a retired soldier, while others believe he could be a lawyer. One international commenter pointed out, when ordinary people are pushed to the point of not fearing death, how far can the end of tyranny be?
Hello， 大家好，我是刘双庆。
Hello everyone, I am Liu Shuangqing. I call on the Chinese Communist Party to stop human rights persecution, end its dictatorial and tyrannical rule, remove the CCP from power, and put Xi Jinping on trial. Freedom belongs to the people.
An increasing number of Chinese people are standing up against the CCP's tyrannical rule, causing concern with the government. The comment section of the video has been flooded with responses, such as, "The people have awakened and they fear nothing, not even death. May everyone who wakes up have the courage to stand up. We must speak out against injustice. Don't be a bystander, or you could be next. A nationwide awakening. We stand in support." As 2026 began, nationwide protests in Iran pushed the country into its most severe political crisis in nearly half a century. The wave of street protests spread like wildfire, with hundreds of thousands of people gathering in Tehran late at night. They lit fires, burned mosques, angrily toppled statues of Revolutionary Guard commander Qasem Soleimani, and tore down flags of the Islamic regime, symbolizing their complete rejection of the government. Protesters improvised Molotov cocktails, bravely chasing down a group of security personnel from the Islamic regime. Videos of protests in Iran continue to surface, showing fearless citizens whose actions have inspired the Chinese public to rise up against the CCP's authoritarian regime. On January 12th, a trend of creating homemade weapons surged on China's Douyin platform, with instructional videos showcasing weapons capable of killing with a single strike. Many viewers expressed that since they're unable to purchase weapons, they have no choice but to make their own. The videos featured 4 types of homemade weapons, including a rubber band and spring combination capable of a fatal shot, a multi-shot harpoon crossbow able to fire 3 rounds that penetrate wood, a high-tension pulley slingshot which, when pulled, shoots arrows that instantly burst balloons, and a wooden bullhorn crossbow capable of instantly destroying a target. One netizen commented, "The compound bow is the pinnacle of long-range weapons in the realm of cold weapons. It's efficient, powerful, and stable. As long as the materials are reliable, it has stronger penetration than a handgun at medium to short ranges, and it's easy to handle, requiring little training time." On January 14th, searches on China's Douyin platform revealed that authorities had removed recent videos on homemade weapons. There have been recent reports suggesting that some individuals in China are planning a civil uprising, set to occur during the 2026 Lunar New Year period. On November 20th, 2025, China's Ministry of Public Security submitted a report to the Central Secretariat, which mentioned an organization called the Special Party Branch of the Republic Restoration Party in the Beijing-Tianjin region. The document states that the Restoration Party plans to take action during the 2026 Chinese New Year, aiming to seize ill-gotten wealth from corrupt CCP officials, hoping that the Chinese people will join their cause. It notes that although many individuals now use virtual currencies to hide illicit funds, the vast majority of CCP officials still store large amounts of cash in their homes, or in the homes of relatives and mistresses. If these funds are stolen, they would be too afraid to report the theft. The CCP's Ministry of Public Security has taken this information very seriously, as everyone is fearful of being targeted. The document has circulated across more than a dozen large and medium-sized cities, as well as dozens of towns, prompting the ministry to urgently report it to the Central Committee. The Central Committee then forwarded the report to all provinces across China, raising heightened alert levels. Many believe that the call to ambush CCP officials is likely based on reality, as otherwise the Ministry of Public Security would not have taken such strict precautions. From another perspective, it appears that the CCP has indeed felt immense civil uprising pressure this year, which is why the ministry's report was shared nationwide. A Chinese human rights lawyer commented, "Officials at all levels within the Communist Party, as cogs in the machine of exploitation, are constantly engaged in a battle against the people to enrich themselves. As a result, support support for using force to resist CCP tyranny is growing stronger, gaining wider acceptance among the public. This shift has also drawn attention worldwide. Armed resistance against the CCP could very well become the mainstream opinion and voice of the Chinese people, lasting until the CCP's collapse and exit from the historical stage. So, where does this wave of civil rebellion in China come from? From the collapse of the Venezuelan regime to the protests in Iran, it seems that these events are rehearsals for the CCP's final downfall, providing a historical reference for the Chinese people to rise up and overthrow the CCP's authoritarian regime. These events are helping to cultivate the spark of rebellion, building up the forces of change. Regarding the brave resistance of the Iranian people, netizens in China have overwhelmingly supported them. One netizen commented, "As a Chinese person, when we say support the Iranian people's fight against tyranny, it's not an empty slogan, but a sincere resonance that transcends national borders, races, and cultures. When someone stands up to fight for freedom and against oppression, using their flesh and blood to confront gunfire and tanks, they become brothers and sisters to all those who yearn for light. We cheer for them. Brave Iranian people." A mainland Chinese observer told foreign media, "The lives of the people in mainland China are extremely difficult right now, and there seems to be no way out. Left with no choice, they may have no option but to rise up in resistance. If serious social issues are not effectively addressed, they will only worsen. Ultimately, like in Iran and Venezuela, greater resistance will break out. The people who are suffering will not endure it for long." He pointed out that overthrowing the CCP's tyranny depends on the strength of the Chinese people themselves, through their awakening and struggle. The CCP's downfall is just a matter of time. Wang Jie, a Chinese dissident, noted that the recent changes in Iran and Venezuela, both authoritarian countries, have dealt a heavy blow to regimes like the CCP and North Korea, which have long maintained tight control through oppression. She said, "I was deeply encouraged by these two news stories. I never expected that the people of Iran, under such a brutal dictatorship, would be ahead of the Chinese people in their struggle to overthrow tyranny. But this is undoubtedly a great source of inspiration and encouragement for the Chinese people." She believes that even the most brutal regimes are paper tigers that cannot withstand popular resistance and uprisings. She calls on the Chinese people to unite and end the CCP's tyranny as soon as possible. On January 13th, Chinese pro-democracy leader Tang Baiqiao posted on X, stating that President Trump had officially expressed his support for the Iranian people's fight against oppression. "It seems military action could be imminent." He said, "Thank you, Mr. President, for listening to the people's calls." The president's post read, "Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions, save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I've cancelled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. Make Iran great again. President Donald J. Trump." Meanwhile, under a short clip of President Trump waving from a lavish hall, the comment section was taken over with cries for help, pleading to him for assistance. The video was flooded with comments such as "SOS, save me," "Save us," "Save the Chinese people," and "Please help." To be able to save, one must first save oneself. If 70% of a country's population is willing to take action to save themselves, that country cannot remain under the control of evil forces. Many people living under tyranny in China are beginning to awaken. They have come to realize that the nature of the Chinese communist regime is to enslave the people by hijacking the state and holding the government hostage. Resistance is the only solution. Today, the Chinese people have become living human minds, exploited at will by the Communist Party's elites. Take organ harvesting, for example. Although this issue was exposed in 2006, many Chinese did not believe it at the time. Now, the CCP's forced organ harvesting has become a widely accepted fact among the Chinese people. Recently, the death of a student in Xinchai, Henan, sparked public outrage, causing a massive online backlash over the dark secrets of the campus. On January 8th, a 13-year-old student named Zhu from Jingshi Tsinghua School, Henan, mysteriously died after undergoing a blood test during a school health checkup. The child was found with blood on the corner of his mouth and a small hole in his chest. The school attempted to move the body before the parents arrived on site, but was blocked by the family truck. The incident quickly gained traction online, with the cause of death unclear and numerous procedural inconsistencies. On the day of the student's death, when the parents went to check the dormitory, they discovered that all of their child's personal belongings had vanished, and the room had been thoroughly cleaned. When the parents requested to view the surveillance footage, the school refused, citing camera malfunctions. The incident prompted thousands of local residents to gather outside the school to protest, demanding justice. In response, authorities deployed a large number of armed police to suppress the demonstration. On January 11th, the streets outside Jingshi Tsinghua School, Henan, were filled with cars, and the scene was tightly surrounded by special forces, leaving no room for movement. The high school students' body-snatching case has put the CCP's Xinzhai County government on high alert, with blocked highways and thousands of special forces deployed, as if facing an external threat. A government that claims to serve the people is most afraid of their people taking to the streets. What is even more suspicious is that the parents of the deceased disappeared. A parent from Henan, Xiao Liu, revealed online that the family members are missing, and this video footage has since been removed. Liu said, "Anything we post from Henan is either throttled or completely taken down, and accounts suspended." On January 11th, the official statement claimed that the student died of cardiac arrest and that the puncture wound on the left side of the chest was caused by a forensic pathologist drawing blood. The explanation contained significant flaws. Today, I came across a mocking term, on-campus forensic pathologist. The official report claims that the blood at the corner of the mouth and the puncture wound on the chest were left by the forensic examination. However, the pathologist arrived before the parents, conducted the blood draw without parental consent, and then removed the body without waiting for parents to arrive. What a heartless one-stop service. There have been widespread rumors that CCP leader Xi Jinping has initiated the 150-year-old leader longevity program, coinciding with an increasing number of mysterious disappearances of children. According to videos circulating online, on January 11th, 14-year-old boy Yang Jiahao disappeared from Shangji town in Nanzhi County. On January 12th, 13-year-old boy Wang Yichun disappeared from Heilong town in Zhumadian, Henan. On January 12th, 14-year-old girl Xu Mengyao vanished from Dancheng County, Henan. January 12th, 13-year-old boy Zhou Wenbo went missing in Zhucheng, Shandong. The Chinese people have been deeply enraged and have come to a profound understanding of the dangers posed by the authoritarian regime.
5个月的长不大，14岁的也养不活。
A 5-month-old baby that doesn't grow, a 14-year-old child that can't survive. What is happening in this world? Taking the lives of the innocent to save those who should have already died. Kindness is trampled on, the innocent are sacrificed, and children who should be nurtured are suddenly withering away, while the scum who don't deserve to live are desperately protected. Such absurdity and injustice. How could it not send chills to the heart and fill the soul with anger?
People's Daily, you listen to me? I'm ordering you to immediately go and resolve the issue at Tsinghua Garden Senior High School in Xinkai County.
On January 12th, a Chinese netizen posted photos on social media, claiming that 2 copies of The Letter to Fellow Countrymen were found in the delivery mailbox of their residential community. The letters called for the public to awaken, targeting the CCP's authoritarian regime. One of the letters stated that after the tragic death of the student from Tsinghua Garden, we are angry, not just because a child is gone, but because everything happened too quickly, the conclusions came too fast, the silencing came too fast, and the stability enforcements came too fast. It further stated, the school, the education bureau, the forensic pathologist, the judiciary, all belong to the same system. The letter went on to say that all of the family's most basic requests, such as bringing in a third party, independent forensic experts, and independent investigators, were received not with openness, but with rejection. The letter further questioned, if you're truly innocent, what are you afraid of? The death of one child led to the deployment of hundreds of special police officers, not to protect the truth, but to control the narrative. If the death of a student cannot be fairly investigated, what safety is there for the rest of us? The letter clearly stated that when a regime must rely on heavy-handed tactics to enforce silence, it indicates that it has lost the ability to gain the people's trust. It read, "Today it's a family in Tsinghua Garden. Tomorrow it could be you or me. We speak out for them, not because we're braver, but because, if we remain silent today, tomorrow we may be the ones crying." Another letter, Letter to Fellow Countrymen 2, failed appeal, appears to be a follow-up to the first. It disclosed the progress of the case. After the student's death at Tsinghua Garden, the family was controlled. The incident site was sealed off, and lawyer Zhou Zhongchen, who went independently to investigate the school, had his phone smashed by officials. He later posted on Douyin and Xiaohongshu, but later his content was deleted. The letter described the situation as follows. We see a very clear path. The family is controlled, the site is sealed, investigations are blocked, and records are erased. This is not a problem with one particular link. It's that all paths leading to the truth have been simultaneously closed. It further pointed out that unpaid wages, lost savings, student deaths at school, and missing children are never isolated incidents. Forced demolitions, unfinished buildings, campus accidents, medical mishaps, wrongful convictions, food safety. These may seem like scattered events, but they all stem from the same system. The letter also emphasized that equality is not something earned by kneeling or begging, and referenced the Iranian people marking officials' addresses for retaliation, and the case of Yang Jia, who fought back by killing a police officer. While ordinary people may not all have this courage, they can help to hide messages in courier packages, post in surveillance blind spots, or leave notices in restrooms. This is the final act of redemption for themselves, their families, and their children. The death of the student at Tsinghua Garden has become far more bizarre than just an isolated campus tragedy. What is truly chilling is the CCP's entire set of abnormal responses after the incident. They're swift, efficient, and private, completely disregarding any public oversight that should exist in normal society. The CCP's methods of maintaining stability and repression are becoming increasingly inhumane, and the only way to overcome this tyranny is for the people to unite and overthrow it.